Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bad Thought Studios. Today, I got Slimer joining me. We are going to be doing a episode on the new Disney Plus announcement, where Max and Plus are combining its streaming services, and Disney Plus is going to have multiple streaming companies on its platform. And I want to kind of get into that. But first, it's been a while, Slimer. Thank you for joining me, bro. Miss you, man. How's everything?
Hey, brother. Thanks for having me on. It's been a while, and let's not let it happen again.
I know, right? Yeah, man. It's been a hot minute, but yeah, we're here now, and not only did you, and shout out to OG 55 Orange Grove 55. You did an episode kind of about the quarterly earnings for Disney, and they kind of announced some a little things like the ESPN app going to Disney, and if you can kind of tell the people who haven't seen that episode, by the way, I'll put that episode in the description because I want you guys to go check that out if you guys haven't. But can you kind of just update us about what happened in that quarterly earning call, and kind of what the synopsis was of it?
Yeah, Tones. Hey, appreciate the shout out for that video.
Of course.
So essentially, it was a pretty good quarter. They missed revenue by a little bit, but they're seeing double-digit operating income and experiences year over year. Entertainment actually showed profitability. Disney Plus is now profitable. ESPN Plus, once you factor that into their direct-to-consumer, they're still in the negative, but they're only negative 18 million. So they're going to be positive in that before the end of the quarter.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, it was a strong quarter. The market didn't like it though. The market actually dumped the shares almost 10% during the earnings call. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that they projected a softer Q3 in the parks. And they also did their call at 5:30 Pacific. And typically, whenever you make a share call that early, it's usually because you have a big announcement. So that's debatable. A lot of people did believe they were going to make a big announcement, not just the investors, but actually Twitter Space as well. And the fact that they didn't, I think it just didn't give the market the confidence that they were looking for in terms of a CEO successor. Because the sooner they get that announcement, the better. The better the market's going to feel about it. The better shareholders are going to feel about the decision making process, where they're at, and looking in establishing Iger's successor, whether it's one CEO or two or three at this point. But overall, pretty good. Other than the fact that the market dumped, despite the fact that Disney Plus showed profitability. And then today we got some news from Scott Gustin over on Twitter. Big news, big news. This is out of left field. We were actually just talking right before the show why we think this is, and I'll let you go ahead and jump into it.
Yeah, the one thing I want to the part that I believe Seymour's shout out to Seymour, he said on that episode was Netflix essentially took 10 years to be profitable.
Mhm.
And forgive me if I said, or would if 10 years was a the wrong number, but I think he said 10 years it took Netflix to be profitable, and Disney Plus has taken 4, which is huge because they weren't expecting it to be profitable yet, were they?
No, they've been projecting profitability in the fourth quarter of 2024 since Bob Chapek was still CEO. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, they're tracking profit. They're tracking. They're actually 2 quarters ahead or 1 quarter ahead, if you want. A
Gotcha.
lot of that has to do with a lot of that has to do with the fact that they brought in some really great content from Hulu, like Shogun. That show has brought in a lot of new subscribers, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
also bringing that Hulu pedigree, which Disney Plus sorely needed, especially after the shit show with all the Star Wars shows and the Marvel shows over there. So the pedigree is under the Hulu tab, if believe it or not.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, huge news dropped today that Max is going to be joining that lineup for Disney Plus. So essentially, it's going to be Disney Plus, of course. It's going to be Hulu. ESPN announced that there's going to be some kind of, I don't know if it's going to X out the complete ESPN app, but they did say that there's going to be sports and stuff on Disney Plus streaming service. So I'm not too sure how that's going to work out, but essentially, we're going to have some ESPN shows and um, sports on the Disney Plus. And then today, they just announced that Max is going to be on the Disney Plus. They're going to combine, I believe, a bundle. They're going to come out with a price of what this bundle is going to be. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing because there's so many good services on this one app. So we don't know what the exact price is going to be unless you heard something about a price they're thinking about coming out with. Have you?
No, no prices have been announced yet. What we do know is that you can actually subscribe to the bundle either on Max, Hulu, or Disney Plus. You have the option to do on either one of the three. I think the reason that they're doing this is because they worked out a deal where Disney's going to get a percentage of ad tier revenue, and
Okay.
they'll probably get a percentage of subscriptions as well. And this is really going to benefit. I mean, it's going to benefit Warner Brothers as well, but Disney really has, in my opinion, they have the leverage here where Warner Brothers does not. But Warner Brothers can use the boost, right? So, why not partner with Disney Plus to do it?
Exactly. A great point. And here's an article that IGN came out with. Disney and Warner Brothers Discovery combined for a new Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max streaming bundle. Let me see. Disney and Warner Brothers Discovery are combining to release a new streaming bundle featuring Disney Plus, Max, and Hulu. As both companies fight heavily losses. The new bundle, which will be available in ad supported and ad free versions, will combine the most popular streaming shows available today, including The Bear, which is an amazing show, House of the Dragons, of course, we all know how good that one is. Bluey, there's ABC, CNN, DC, Discovery. The list goes on and on. Hulu, Marvel, Pixar, Search. Does it say Searchlight? Yeah, Searchlight, Warner Brothers, and more as part of its offering. Now, Max has a big following when it comes to shows like House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones. Has The Bear and Shogun. Like these companies combining into one could be a good thing for views on certain movies because, like, for instance, I'm a huge House of the Dragon fan. Of course, people who watch my content know that, but there could be stuff on Disney Plus or Hulu that I didn't get to watch. Like The Bear, I didn't watch until the second season come out because um, I didn't have Hulu at the time. So this could be a good thing that all these shows are going to be available in this bundle, and um, it could be a good thing, like I said, but it could branch out on more projects in the future as well because of so many different shows on one platform. But what's your opinion on this? What do you think this is a good thing, a bad thing? How would you preface this?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because in a lot of ways it seems like cable TV all over again.
Hmm.
It seems like the Hulu Disney platform is becoming the new Comcast or Time Warner or Xfinity, however you want to call it. And if you want to play with the big dogs, you got to pay. You got to pay an entrance fee to get in.
Yeah.
And it looks like you know perhaps Max is going to be their first broadcasting service. So if you want to compare it to linear TV, it's almost like Disney is now Nexstar or Sinclair Broadcasting Group. They sell the airtime to the networks. The networks want the airtime because that's where they broadcast their shows, and then that the ad revenue essentially gets broadcasted on during the commercials and things like that. Um, that's what it seems like to me. So Max is paying to play to get more subscribers through Hulu. Hey,
Yeah.
what's going on, Webba?
What's
I
up,
did,
Bubba?
What's up?
I did not expect you to pop in.
Hey, me either.
We got a late guest to this episode, but thanks for joining, Webba.
Welcome,
Of
welcome.
course, thank you.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Continue what you were saying, Summer.
No, no. So this shows that Disney Plus is pretty much playing as like they're a platform where you pay to play. Obviously, they're going to negotiate ad tier revenue percentages for themselves. They're also going to negotiate subscription revenue percentages for themselves as well. Because ultimately, I think this is going to be a net benefit for Max more so than it is Disney Plus. The other thing too is again they're aiming towards that bundling content, right? That bundling premium. is really what these companies are going for now. The more content they can put in these streaming services that are going to keep people on their platform, the less churn they're going to experience. And like I said in the video last night over on Orange Grove, churn's a big problem when it comes to streaming. We know
Hmm.
that from Netflix specifically. Netflix has always had a problem with churn, which is why they so often cancel shows after the first or second season.
Yep.
And Disney's not about that. Disney's about that long-term customer base. That's what they do in the parks. And if they were smart, they would, they would bring that talent of reducing churn and keeping long-term customers on their streaming services as well. So by keeping everything there, House of the Dragon, HGTV, ABC, CNN, what else basically everything.
Yep.
You don't
Exactly.
have to go anywhere. That's kind of the idea. Like if everything's on one platform, then why do you have to go to another streaming service?
Exactly, and I think that's what you made a huge point. And Netflix is, I don't want to say downfall, but Netflix's problem is shows like The Brother's Son, which had an amazing first season, and it it was rated very high on like Rotten Tomatoes. Not that that's a huge deal when it comes to ratings, but it it had really good feedback in that show, and after one season they canceled it. And I made a TikTok on that specifically, and I believe it was over 100,000 views on that video. And people in the comments, like hundreds of comments, were saying how pissed they were that
Yeah,
a show like this was, because it had some of the best action that I saw all year until Shogun came out.
right.
And that's something to say. Like it kept me on my feet when it came to action. And you could tell the choreographed martial arts in that show wa- was detailed as fuck. Like it was
Yeah,
so fun to watch. But after one season, and what's crazy is that it wasn't even a couple, I want to say maybe like less than 6 months, and when the show came out, they announced that the show was canceled, which was insane to Netflix subscribers, because the show was amazing. But Mr. Webber, I appreciate you coming in, bro. I wanted to get your opinion as well. We're talking about the announcement that came out today of Max joining Disney Plus. So, what's your thoughts and uh, your opinion on this?
Yeah, so Thomas, thanks for having me. I appreciate it at this kind of last minute thing.
No
Um,
worries.
but yeah, so I saw it and it was very interesting, right? Because I thought the whole point, and again, I will say I'm very ignorant to like like stats and like how businesses should be operating on these streaming services. But I will say that I thought the point of this was to have like if you wanted Disney content, go to Disney Plus. If you wanted stuff like from Warner Brothers, you go to like HBO or stuff like that, right? And Paramount and Plus and all that crap, right? So I was like, okay, well then, what is the benefit then of having your own streaming service? Then, if you're going to start combining your service with another service, then what was the point? Because now what it sounds like, or now what it seems like, is what if this is the start to other companies like now combining um their service with another service, right? So now like will we start seeing like these bundles of different streaming services coming together now? Because now we got Disney and Max coming together.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is like I said, like it's turning into linear TV in kind of a way, except it's direct to consumer. In other words, they're the cable company, and then they're the producers as well. Because in linear, you have a couple other players that you don't have in direct to consumer. You have the people that sell the airtime, right? So like Nexstar, Sinclair Broadcasting Group. Then you have the networks. Then you have the people that have the commercials, right? So and then you
Mhm.
have and then you have the cable company themselves, Xfinity. So I mean, there's a lot of people that are getting a piece of the pie.
Yep.
But by making it direct to the consumer, you're cutting out all these middlemen and you're keeping more of your operating profit.
So then by doing this then, right? I'm confused. So are we going to have Disney Plus and then people who have Disney Plus and Hulu, and then now we have ESPN coming in? Tones, I watched yours and candidates video about that.
Yeah.
Are we going to have like three separate accounts now? Because my Disney Plus, I don't have Hulu, so Hulu doesn't pop up for me in the on the homepage.
Yeah.
So so then if do I have to buy a whole nother bundle deal thing to get this Disney Plus HBO Max thing.
Yeah, pretty much. So they're going to be coming out with the bundle, and we kind of discussed this before you hopped in. It hasn't been disclosed as far as the pricing on this bundle, but
Okay.
essentially, yes, you are going to have a bundle package that they're going to announce that you can purchase, where you get all four streaming access to all four streaming platforms, and that's the one thing that this could be a good thing, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, it could be a very bad thing if they overprice this
Right.
to where people don't think it's worth doing because of, like, on Netflix, for instance, you have a big variety of movies. You can watch anime, you can watch cartoons, you can watch live action. Like, it does have a big variety, but it's just what Netflix has on its platform, that people don't like Netflix. But with these four, especially Hulu or Max and Disney Plus, there's going to be even a bigger variety of shows and movies, and the pricing is going to be the biggest part in this, because if it's like $100 for all four, you know that's a heavy margin to pay up, and that could be the detriment to this bundle. Now, I don't think that they're going to charge that much, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they're going to make it affordable, but they also have to make it to where they will some time down the line make profit in doing this, and
Right.
all four of them make profits. So that's my look on it. It could be a bad thing, could be a good thing. We just have to, we'll find out once they announce that.
Yeah,
Man.
because we don't know anything about it yet. They dropped this information late this afternoon. They
Hmm.
didn't drop it in the morning because that would have seemed desperate, given the stock dump yesterday. So they said, well, let's drop it in the afternoon, and so that way the shareholders can sit on it after hours and speculate.
Yeah.
It does show momentum, however, in that they are actually thinking of ways to make Disney Plus or DTC as profitable as possible going forward. They're looking for growth. Matter of fact, Hugh Johnson said in an interview with CNBC, if they can do 20% growth year over year, then they're gonna go for that. And
Well,
I don't
I,
think,
As they should.
yeah, as they should.
I'll tell you this, and Tones, you and Ken touched up on this on your guys' video. Disney Plus, man, you guys got to step up your length in your shows, man. Like, it's too short, and then your seasons are too short. Like, come on. Like, I
Uh,
want some. Like, now, like, people are used to like binging shows and like watching Game of Thrones type of like length of time, right? Not like, because I know, like, with like like with like Bad Batch or Clone Wars, you have like your 30-minute shows, right? That's fine. But when you got
mhm.
like a live action thing, I want to see an hour-long thing to go deep into character and story, right? Not this stuff that gets rushed, because that's what happens all the time in these Disney Plus shows. They start off great, and then they kind of meow, because then
Yeah.
they try to cram and rush everything at the very end because they don't have time.
Yeah, and it's sad because you get shows like Percy Jackson, and people who watch my show and watch this channel know how we weren't fans of. We were fans of the show and the books, of course, but we weren't fans of how they relayed the mess, or they relayed the story of a good IP like Percy Jackson. And like you said, the big part of that show was, I'm literally watching a rushed television show that should be spread out within an hour to
Hmm.
explain it properly.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that. The limited action in that show was mind-boggling to me. But that's another episode that we could do. But yes, make the shows an hour long, especially live action, like shows like Percy Jackson, like Game of Thrones and Shogun. Like, you get those viewers who will sit down and binge watch shows like that,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing. But at the same time, when it comes on live action on Disney, you don't get that, and it sucks. It really does.
Well, I'm wondering if now, if they're going to have this combined kind of join the forces here with Max, if maybe Disney might start to pick some of that up for Disney Plus, because Max is going to have all the hour-long shows. So I wonder if
Mhm.
that might kind of maybe trickle down into Disney Plus. Maybe, do you think?
And let's hope. Let's hope. I mean, they have all the what's the word? They have all the access they need to these companies as far
Yeah.
as reaching out and talking to them. And now that it's a combined um a combined streaming service, they'll have those resources to be able to reach out and be like, hey, do you think this show is good for this? And I hope so. I hope they lean towards that, reaching out.
Yes, absolutely. But I mean, I'll say that I think it is cool in terms of like what Slimer you were saying was that like for the consumer, right? Like it is nice to have everything there, right? Because like I said, I don't have HBO. You know, I don't have my own. I don't even have an account. So if and also I don't have Max either. We also don't have Netflix. We actually got rid of Netflix. So if there was that bundle, I mean, I would actually buy it. You know, I would okay. I got Disney Plus, you know, which has everything in Disney Plus, right? And then you have Max and Hulu. Great. I got all that stuff. I got the Disney stuff. Then I got the more kind of more mature kind of stuff where I can watch. So it's all right there. I don't have to have like four separate accounts for everything.
Mm.
So I think that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I kind of want to touch on real quick before we get out of here is ESPN, when it comes to their live
Hmm.
sporting events, it's really confusing how they do it. So when it comes to Disney Plus and then Hulu has live sports, we all seen the commercials of Hulu has live sports stuff. But I hope they integrate because I'm a big sports guy. I watch football, basketball, baseball. I watch all of it, and when I go on the ESPN app and I have ESPN Plus, there's only certain ESPN Plus games I'm allowed to watch, which is it makes no sense. So
That's dumb.
yeah, I hope once we go to I hope once ESPN goes to live sports on Disney Plus, I hope they make it easier for the consumer to be
Hmm.
able to watch big events too, like NFL, basketball. Like those are the two
Yeah.
main sports that I watch,
Hmm.
but I can't watch it sometimes because I have to sign in on this, sign in on that. So I hope it's a little bit easier for us to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the goal. I think that they want to eliminate this concept that we've been used to on smart TVs for the last 20 years, whereas you have to access different tiles to get into the streaming service that you want to watch. And imagine if you just logged into one streaming app and everything was right there, and you're just picking everything a la carte off of one streaming service. That's what I that's what I think Disney is imagining, and I
Hmm.
think whoever executes that first, it's one of those like strike first kind of a situations
Exactly.
like Netflix, you know, in conjunction with technology that supports the service, so that way it is as as good as it can possibly be in terms of navigating the actual app itself and actually feeling like a good quality app. And like let's say Amazon, for whatever reason, Amazon's
Mm.
so sluggish, like it's unbelievably sluggish, and I don't know why. But I think that's what Disney's envisioning. They're thinking about ecosystems, and they're thinking about package bundles that you can choose from, that you can customize based off of your content preference.
Well, oh, sorry, Thomas. I just want to say,
No,
and
good.
like, and it's speaking of like technology. Well, before I get to that, because I mean, you're right, right? It's like that you want to eliminate as much red tape for the consumer as possible, right? Because then you have to
Right.
go through this, through this, through this. It's just really annoying.
Mhm.
um, but with technology, though, I know Apple said they're like they're kind of lowering the amount they're manufacturing, but Disney partnered up with Apple for the Apple Vision Pro for that can be used for Disney Plus, right? Now that Disney Plus is going to be bundled with Max, now we can see where this technology is going to be, going to
And
for the stuff.
the beauty about this to me, guys, is we're able to log on to one app and able to go to three other different platforms if we wanted to, which is a great thing because it's going to be way easier instead of having to buy Hulu, Max, ESPN, Disney Plus.
Mhm.
We get one bundle and we get all access to everything. Now, that in a way, this is a good thing because we have that access to not have to go to 10 different apps. But at
Right.
the same time, do you guys think this could be a bad thing because other companies are going to want to combine for bundles? Like if Netflix were to go on, let's say, a different platform and combine bundles like that, or do you think it's a good thing that we're putting everything into one cart and being able to purchase it there?
See,
Hmm.
Webber, you want to tackle that one first, or
Actually, no, Slimer, you go ahead. I'm still thinking about it, and also I want to hear what you have to say though.
yeah, I think the streaming services are going to consolidate no matter what. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been in a state of consolidation now for years. Um, some go by the wayside. Some get bought out. Some they have branding issues, and but I think these streaming services actually consolidating into one another is an inevitability. I mean, look what's
Mhm.
going on with Paramount, right? Like, so Skydance, who's
Mhm.
long been Paramount's financier for movies, offered them $4.5 billion, I believe it was. They had an exclusive 30-day window to negotiate it. Sony comes in and offers $26 billion cash, right? So they're already talking to Sony. They're going to take that deal. I mean,
Oh
they'd be
yeah.
stepping out there, and that's just a starting. That's just to get the conversation started, right? So they're going to take that $26 billion, if not more, cash, and it's going to be Paramount, a Sony company. And so there you have two studios already consolidated. And don't forget, Sony bought Columbia Pictures at the early 2000s, I believe it was. So that's two different studios that they've already purchased. And Disney recently bought Pixar and Fox.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So they're all consolidating. Warner Brothers bought Discovery. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's just at what point is the U.S. government going to intervene and say, all right, yeah,
Exactly. That was
yeah,
my next question. Is when it Disney, the Disney monopoly is happening in front of our eyes, and like it's almost to like when are they going to step in and say something to Disney? But at the same time, that you got to give Disney props, man. They're buying these companies and making it easy, or essentially trying to make it easier for the consumer, and you got to give it up to them, in my opinion.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's really aggressive. I mean, this
Hmm.
kind of partnership with Warner Brothers, it shows one they're able to collaborate with a competing studio, but it's very aggressive against Netflix as
Yeah.
well.
Well, also too, I think, right, because streaming is still like a relatively new thing, right, in our modern society, right? And I think what a lot of these companies, and I could be wrong, but what I see was like I feel like a lot of these companies realize how expensive it is to run a streaming service, right? Whether it's
Mhm.
Paramount, Peacock, Netflix, Disney, right? Warner Bros. It's like it's expensive, and then sooner or later, I think this might be kind of that natural progression where they're like, you know what? This is like a lot of money, and there's too many weird things you have to like red tape you have to go through. Let's just work with another company, consolidate our stuff into one thing, and then maybe we might up the price a little bit, and then the consumer has access to all that, and then the two companies can join forces, kind of financially on the streaming platform.
Exactly.
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 Yeah, so I mean, we hope we get some kind of affordable bundle, because we love watching, especially you two. We love watching TV shows. We love watching good, stuff. And if they have a good price package for its consumers, of course, this is going to be a great thing for Disney and the consolidations of these four companies. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see what's next. I just hope they don't make it difficult as far as operating the app.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that they did a great job when they introduced Hulu onto the Disney Plus, where you could just click Hulu and search through those shows instead of combining them or whatnot. But yeah, I'm excited. And any last words before we get out of here, boys?
Baba.
No, I just want to say, Toast, again, thank you for letting me join in pretty late in the game. I appreciate it. It's always fun to talk about movies, shows, streaming, whatever. That's always fun. And I'm actually really looking forward to this thing once it comes out. I'm 99% sure I'm going to buy it. So I might just drop my Disney Plus thing and then just pick up this new bundle.
Oh yeah, for sure. Me too. I'm essentially in the same boat as you. If it's affordable, like I said, if it's
Right.
affordable,
Yeah.
you might as well. There are just too many good TV on within those four companies. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Warner Brothers has been fucking killing it lately in the movie theaters. I would love to have access to all those movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them are great for home theater too. You have a sound bar, you have some tower speakers. Movies like Dune and Willy Wonka and Godzilla vs Kong
Yeah.
kick ass on a 75-inch TV. So I'm ready for it. That's one thing I love about Warner Brothers is they do make movies for movie theater people.
Oh
They
yeah.
really do. Yep.
Yeah,
So
there you got me pumped now, dude.
well,
I want to see all those movies you mentioned, dude.
yeah, no, for sure. And here's the thing: they drop it at a price point that's affordable, $29.99, $39.99 all in,
Yep.
and the app's really convenient to use. man, that's a winner.
That's
Yep.
a
Winner,
for
chicken
sure
dinner.
winner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. But boys, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. It's always good talking to you fellas. Make sure it's not another 10 years before we see each other, all right?
Yeah, you're right.
But I'll start with you, Slimer, if you could tell the people where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, but you can find me on X at Slime Square 84, and thanks for having me on again.
Of course, man. If you guys want to see Slimer and Mr. Webba, you guys also can go to Orange Girl 55. I'll put his stuff in the description below. They're always on his show talking stuff about Disney, and you guys would love it if you guys are Disney fanatics. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on, Slimer. Mr. Webba, if you could tell the people where they can find you.
Yes, sir. Thomas, thank you so much for having me on. It was great talking to you, fellas. You can find me both on Instagram and Twitter, Mr. Webba at Webslinger760.
Yes, sir. I love the new Mr. Webba stuff. I see it on my
Thank you,
Twitter.
sir.
I'm like, hell yeah, I love it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, guys, comment and let us know what you guys thought about the bundles and Max going over to Disney Plus. Let us know if it's a good thing or bad thing. Make sure you guys like and subscribe with notifications on so you guys are notified when a video is uploaded. If you guys want to follow me on social media, Tones_TV on all platforms. And don't forget to follow the podcast, Bad Thoughts Podcast with me, the Candy Camper. All right. Hope you guys have a great night. Love y'all.